Okay, so very good morning, students. I'm Dewmini Peris, an assistant lecturer from Department of Marketing Management in the University of Sri Chavadalapura. I think Mr. Dilan is doing your lectures, but today I will be taking over this session. So I think you will be getting interacted, right? And before moving on, let me know if anyone is unable in understanding Sinhala because I'm planning to just use some Sinhala wordings in between just for the clarification. So if there is anyone who cannot understand Sinhala at all, please raise your hands. Then I can continue only in English. Is there anyone who cannot understand Sinhala if I tell something in Sinhala? You can freely talk because there are just, I think, 8, 9 students. So we can just have an interactive session. So I think it's okay to use some symbol in between, right? Okay, so this is about brand management. I hope you have covered this introduction to brands and the brand management. I think you know what a brand means. Brand එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන එක ඔයාලා දන්නවා ඇති කියලා මම හිතනවා. So today we are moving into this brand positioning, right? So what does it mean by a brand positioning? අපි positioning කියන එකෙන් ඉස්සෙල්ලාම අපි brand positioning වලට යන්න කලින් let's discuss about positioning, right? So yes. So what does it mean by positioning? As marketing, I think you all are doing marketing. So what does it mean by brand positioning? Or what does it mean by positioning? What is the meaning of the word positioning? Yes, anyone? Have you heard about the word positioning earlier? You are very you can talk. You are very free to express your ideas because there are just I think 8, 9 students. Yes. Position කරනවා කියන එක ගැන මොනවා හරි idea එකක් තියෙනවද? අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මොනවා හරි දෙයක් position කරනවා කියන එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් just forget brand positioning. I'm just talking about the word positioning. Anyone? Okay. So, positioning in the sense we are trying to make something memorable, make something, let's say, attached to one's mind. So, here, when it comes to brand positioning, it's about we are trying to position or trying to, let's say, make a memory which is lasting, an everlasting memory of our product in the mind of our customers. So that's the simple meaning of brand positioning. But according to this description, which is available in this slide, right? It's about act of designing the company's offer. What does it mean by designing the company's offer? Here, like if we break down this description into some parts, we can identify main 3 points regarding to brand positioning, right? The first one is designing the company's offer. And the next one is designing the image, right? If you can see here, it's about designing the image and also the value that we are going to give to the customer, the target customer's mind, right? So here, in brand positioning, it's really important to design the offer. Offer in the sense what we are going to give to our customers. අපි මොනවද customers ලට දෙන්නේ? That's the offer, right? So it can be some specific product features that you are including in your product. That can be some special, let's say, designs, some high quality, and some special things that you are doing with the pricing. These kind of offers. So in brand positioning, this designing of the company offer, what the company is offering is really important. That's the first thing. Because you need to offer something memorable, something which can stand out from the rest of the competitors to the market, right? In order to position your product as something memorable, as something which, unique in the customer's mind. And as an example, let's say we are going to the supermarket to buy some biscuits. We are going to buy some biscuits, and there are plenty of brands available in the market. But still, right, most of the customers are going in Sri Lankan market. I'm talking about most of the customers are going on with Munchie or sometimes with Maliban. It's because they have positioned their products with this offers in a particular place of the customer's mind. අපි හිතනවා මේක හරිම quality product එකක් වෙන්න ඇති. අපි හිතනවා මේක හරිම ගොඩාක් කාලයක් market එකේ තියෙනවා මේක quality product එකක් මේ price එකට මේක worth. So they have designed their offer in a really good manner where it has been positioned in the customer's mind. කොච්චර brands market එකට ආවත් Munchie Maliban කියන brands දෙකේ තියෙන ඒ තැන තාම market එකේ තියෙනවා ගොඩාක් කල් ගිහිල්ලා. So that's about how they have design their company offers and also their image, right? Let's say Nike. Nike ki logo එක, Nike ki image එක, Nike ki slogan එක. That's really like simple. Logo එක මම හිතනවා ඔයාලා හැමෝම දැකලා ඇති. It's really simple. It's just a clip, but it's in our mind. That's how they have designed their image. So it has, occupied a distinct place in our customer's mind. අපි මොකක් හරි අපේ බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එක ඉමේජ් එකක් විදිහට කස්ටමර්ස්ලට දෙනකොට ඒක අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ distinct image එකක්. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් අමතක නොවන දෙයක් විදිහට කස්ටමර්ගේ මයින්ඩ් එකට දාන්න. So in brand positioning, same as the offers that you are going to give to your customer, the image that you are building, let's say your advertising style sometimes. සමහර advertisements තියෙනවා අපි ඒක style එක දානවා. Then let's say close up. So when it comes to close up advertisements, it's kind of romantic. It's kind of going with the young generation. But let's say some confectionery, some jujubes or something, those are mainly targeting the kids. The CBL pebbles, right? The Munchie or Raspberry pebbles. Raspberry pebbles ගත්තොත් if you can remember, there was an advertisement in there was a chocolate waterfall, and that was really into cartoons because they are targeting the children. So that's how they have built up the advertising style when it comes to the image. And also, let's say the branding and the logo, they should be like memorable. When it comes to a brand positioning, it's not only about the product. We should be able to make our brand itself also memorable in the customer's mind. That's the second point we were here in this image and the offer. And the next one is target customer's mind, right? So no matter what we do as a company, it's about how our customers are going to perceive or how our customers are going to grab what we are offering. අපි කොච්චර දේවල් කම්පැනි එකක් විදිහට කළා ඒක නෙමෙයි අදාළ වෙන්නේ. අපි කොහොමද කස්ටමර්ස්ලා කොහොමද අපේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක ඔළුවට දාගන්නේ කියන එක තමයි වැදගත් වෙන්නේ. So the target customer's mind is really important. එහෙම කියලා අපිට mind reading කරන්න බෑනේ. ඒ නිසා we need to understand the normal behavior of our customers. That's really important to think from the point of view of our target customers in order to provide these products in a way that they will be positioned in a memorable point in the customer's mind. එතකොට අපි target customerගේ perception එක. It's let's say we have, as a company, we have developed a proper plan. අපි මෙහෙම advertisements කරමු, මේ විදිහට කරමු, මේ price එක දාමු, and we have a full ready plan. But still, if it's not aligned with the customer's perception, if it's not aligned with the what customer thinks and what customer needs, all the things will not be a success. So we need to understand our target customers' mind as well when we are trying to position our products in customers' mind. So that's about brand positioning, right? Let's move on. So when we are moving on about this brand positioning, simply I will tell you what brand positioning means with all these things that I explained, right? So brand positioning based on all the three things that we have discussed here, it's about how we are going to place our product in customers' mind. Simply, brand positioning means how we are going to, what's the place in customers' mind for our product. Our product එක customer ගේ ඔළුවේ කොතනද තියෙන්නේ? Market එකට ගියපු ගමන්ම, let's say someone is going to purchase some coconut oil from supermarket. සුපර් මාකට් එකට ගිහිල්ලා පොල් තෙල් බෝතලයක් ගන්නවා නම් මම කියන්නේ normal කඩේකින් නෙමෙයි සුපර් මාකට් එකක branded brands එක තියෙන පොල් තෙල් බෝතල් වලට ගියොත් අපේ ඔළුවේ එක මොකක් හරි because sometimes it may be because of the advertisements that they have done, sometimes it may be because of the brand, sometimes it may be because of the health benefits that they are promoting. මොනවා හරි දෙයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒගොල්ලන් ප්‍රමෝට් කරන ඒ නිසා අපේ ඔළුවට එකපාරට මේ brand එක එනවා නම් that positioning has been done really well in terms of that product. So that's about brand positioning. Okay, so let's move on. So in this brand positioning, we have to discuss about three things, right? When it comes to this positioning, we need to think of special three terms. I will explain these, right? So api brand එක position කරනකොට, let's say we are positioning a chocolate brand, right? So we are going to position a chocolate brand. Api hitamu it's something more relevant to the kids, which is going to be loved by the kids. But if we are going to make our promotional campaigns, branding strategies and everything, targeting the whole market, let's say many other people other than the kids also, will that positioning be successful? අපි අපිට අවශ්‍යම කෙනා ඇරෙන්න අපි හිතනවා කමන්නේ අරගොල්ලොත් ගත්තොත් හොඳයි වගේ එකකින් we are going to position this as a common, like, you know, a product that can be used by everyone, like that. So will it be okay? Will it be more successful? No, right? Because we know that we have limited resources. So with these resources, we need to use this in an optimized way. We need to use these resources in an optimized way. So here we need to think of some special things when it comes to positioning our product. All right. So okay, moving on, we have frame of reference, the points of parity and points of difference. So these are the main three terms that we are going to discuss here together with the target market. So let's just read this. Deciding on a positioning requires determining a frame of reference. The frame of reference කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන එක ගැන අපි කතා කරමු, right? Okay, sorry. So positioning වල අපි frame of reference කියන්නේ මොකක්ද, points of parity මොකක්ද, points of difference මොකක්ද කියන එක අපි ඉස්සරහට කතා කරමු. But let's have a whole idea on this description first, right? So deciding on a positioning requires determining a frame of reference. The frame of reference කියන එක අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා positioning කරන්න. So what is frame of reference? Let's discuss within a few minutes, right? So by identifying the target market and the nature of the competition and the optimal points of parity and points of difference brand associations. So by reading this, you need to, like, you will understand that whatever is telling by those phrases, these things are really important in positioning, right? ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට මේ ටික අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා positioning වලට යද්දී. So let's discuss what frame of reference means, right? So frame of reference, I'll simply tell you what does it mean. It means the specific category in which your brand is competing. ඔයාගේ brand එක මොන category එක යටතේද compete කරන්න කියන එක තමයි frame of reference කියන එකේ සරල අදහස. Right? So in frame of reference, let's as an example, let's take water bottles, just water bottles, right? Knuckles. Knuckles is a water bottle brand. So they are competing in the beverage category. Although they have some direct competitors like American Water, like that, they are competing in this beverage category. So they have other beverages also as their competition. So defining this frame of reference is really important in identifying your target market and the nature of competition available within that. Because based on this frame of reference, your category will be determined. ඔයා මොන කැටගරි එකටද වැටෙන්නේ කියන එක තේරුම් ගන්න. ඔයා මොන කැටගරි එකටද වැටෙන්නේ කියන එක තීරණය වෙන්නේ frame of reference යටතේ. So you need to, first of all, once you are going to introduce a brand, you need to identify in which category I am going to place my product. Sometimes some beverages, let's say energy drinks වගේ එකක් beverage category එකට වගේම lifestyle වෙන categories වලටත් යන්න පුළුවන් because there are some other more benefits and some other more let's say features that we can promote, right? But ඒ වගේ products තියෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. But here in frame of reference, we need to identify in which main category we are going to compete as a product. So by designing that only, you can understand who is your competitors and what is your target market. මේ දෙක දැනගන්න නම් frame of reference කියන දේ හරියටම define කරගන්න අවශ්‍යයි. Okay, and then the optimal points of parity. POPs කියලා අපි කියන්නේ in detail we will be discussing in the future slides, right? POPs in the sense, what are the similar things that you have as well as your competitors have? ඔයාටත් තියෙන ඔයාගේ competitors ලටත් තියෙන features මොනවද? So these are known as point of parity. Point of parity කියලා කියන්නේ ඔයාටත් තියෙන ඔයාගේ customers ඔයාගේ competitors ලටත් තියෙන දේවල්. Right? So these are some basic features that a brand offer. As an example, අපි කිව්වොත් let's say in our water bottles example, it's for thirsty. And it has some, let's say in mineral water, there are some kind of minerals like that. Those features are available in like mineral water in the sense we have just purified and we have bottled, and it's the same procedure that is going on in all the water bottles. But let's say in your water bottles, in your mineral water bottle, your design is different, or else you are using a glass bottle when everyone is using plastic bottles. What Olu did, right? Olu wage products, if you have heard about the Olu brand, they are having glass bottles. So ඒ වගේ එකක් කරොත් that is not similar. මං කියන්නේ ඒ කාලේ Olu looking glass bottle එක එනකොට, right? That is not similar to your competitors. That is something unique. ඒක ඒ feature එක ඔයාගේ competitors ලටත් තියෙන එකක් නෙවෙයි. That's something unique to you. Then those kind of features are known as points of difference. Frame of reference, points of parity, points of difference. මෙන්න මේ තුන හරිම වැදගත් when it comes to decide your positioning as a brand, right? So this is, in other words, you need to identify who the target consumer is, who the main competitors are. So the question number 1, question number 2 will be resolved once you decide your frame of reference. Once you have decided your frame of reference, the answers for the question number 1, who the target customer is, and for the question number 2, who the main competitors are. මෙන්න මේ ප්‍රශ්න දෙකට උත්තර ඔයාට හම්බ වෙනවා ඔයා frame of reference කියන එක define කරගත්තට පස්සේ. Because when you know where to compete, let's say in our water bottle example, we are competing in our beverage category. So you know who the target consumer is. Target consumer is the people who are searching something to quench their thirst. Right? මොනහරි තිබහට බොන්න දෙයක් හොයන කට්ටිය තමයි target consumers ලා වෙන්නේ. And who the main competitors are. When you have decided to compete in the beverage category, of course, your main competitors will be other water bottle brands and also milk dairy brands like Milo, let's say Nestamol, sometimes ready-made Keto, Nescafe, Tetra Pak, some other fruit juices, coffee, tea, right? Those people like ready-made things. Just grab and you can have it to quench your thirst. Like kind of competitors will be there. We can get the answers for these first and second questions just because you have finalized or you have decided on your frame of reference. So now we have answers for the question number 1 and the question number 2. The next one, how the brand is similar to these competitors. What are the similar things that we have as competitors to be in this category? දැන් අපිට ගොඩාක් වෙනස් වෙලා ඒ කැටගරි එකට යන්න බෑනේ. මොනවා නම් අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් මගේ POD එක තමයි මම ඇඳුම් විකුණන කෙනෙක්. හැබැයි මම beverage category එකට. No, that's not valid, right? You need to be someone who is going in line with your competitors in order to go to that target market, right? And then you need to have some similar features just as your competitors. Okay, so let's say in our water bottle example, we can say just as our other competitors, we can be an option to quench your thirst, right? So that's similar. අපි මොනහරි බොන්න දෙයක් හොයනකොට අනිත් දේව වගේම වතුරත් අපේ water bottle brand එකත් අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. That's something similar. And how can we get our product different from the others? අනිත් අයට වඩා අපේ product එක different කරන්න අපි මොනහරි දෙයක් දාන්නත් ඕනේ. If not, we will not be standing out of the rest. As a company, we will not be standing out of the rest. අනිත් අයකින් අපි stand out කරන්නත් මොනහරි special දෙයක් අපි ගාව තියෙන්න ඕනේ. So that's about point of difference. So my questions 4 මේ questions 4 answer කරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ it means we have decided on our POPs, PODs and our frame of reference. So that's how we are going into positioning. Okay, I hope it's clear for you all, right? And we are having a little activity. As you are not talking also, let's do some, this is kind of an activity which is really easy for you to do. I'll give you just 5 minutes. You can go through this. These are the same questions that we discussed here, right? So you need to come up with some examples for these with the familiar brand. Let's say any brand that you can remember. මොකක් හරි පොඩි brand එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. And identify their target consumer. Identify the main competitors. Identify what are the similar features and what are the differences, like what will make this brand differ from the others. මෙන්න මේ ටික හොයාගමු අපි. I will give you 5 minutes and then let's discuss. Like please do everyone I hope everyone will do this, right? Once you like go through this, you can like ඔයාලට පාඩම් කරන දේකුත් ඉතුරුන එකක් නැහැ. Like it's really something very simple. You can go through. I have already explained the answers using an example also, so it's really easy for you all to do. So I'll give you now. Its time is 9:29, right? I'll give you 9:30. So I'll give you time till 9:35. You can do the activity within 5 minutes, and then let's discuss. Like if you have any questions when doing the activity, please ask, right? If you have any questions, you can add to the chat box as well, right? And then I'll give the answers also. And you can just try to do this. It's very simple. And by doing this, you will get an idea about how this frame of reference, POP, POD will work. So let's discuss this, right? Anyone who is like to who likes to share their ideas? Yes. If you have finished, please raise your hands at least. Great, one is there. What about others? You need more time? Okay, let's discuss. So I don't know your name. The last number in your index is 4797. So what is the example that you have taken? Yes?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. My name is Kavindi.
Hi, Kavindi.
Hello. So I selected Spa Ceylon.
Okay, great.
The target market is high income level consumers and maybe tourists, people who love self-care and local experiences.
Okay.
Then who the main competitors?
Who the main competitors are?
Maybe Nature's Secret. Then
Okay.
Prana.
Yes, and also I think Kavindi, we can take some indirect customers as well because when it comes to spa salon, it's more into Ayurvedic stuff, no? So this Ayurvedic related brands can also be taken as an indirect competitor, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So what are the similar things that you have identified? What are the point of parities that you have identified?
They say they use natural ingredients.
Yes.
Then they have incorporated experience as well.
Yes.
Like some people can go and experience the smell, the ingredients, touch them.
So is it a point of parity like all the other similar brands are also doing that, or is it a point of difference?
Ingredients, of course, many
It's
brands
a point
say
of parity. Yes, that's true. I mean, that going and visiting part,
experience, it could be unique.
it could be unique, right? So we can use it as a point of difference. Okay, really good. Like you have done a nice analysis. Thank you, Kavindi. And if anyone who has done, yes. Then by vela mama me කියන්න කියනවා කියලා අතොස්සන්න තියෙන්න එපා. Just for me to get an idea whether you have finished it or not. Please raise your hands if you have done. Yes. I'm not gonna ask the answers. Okay, I hope you have done it, and I think it's clear for you all because we have a limited time to finish this session. So I will take an example again and I will explain this for you all, right? Let's say service. අපි ගමු සර්විස් එකක් අපි දැනට ප්‍රොඩක්ට් අපි කතා කරා water bottles ගැන අපි කලින් විතර කතා කරා මේ cosmetics brands ගැන. That's also spa-salon. It's also kind of a product. So let's discuss how this can be applied to a service, right? So let's get okay, so let's get fast food restaurant. Let's get a fast food restaurant. So who the target consumer is? අපි fast food අපි ගමු McDonald's කියලා. නැත්නම් KFC කියලා. So who will be the target consumer? What will be the category that they are competing in? Yes, we can take quick service restaurants, right? Fast food restaurant category එකේ තමයි අපේ McDonald's එහෙම නැත්නම් KFC ඉන්නේ. So that's their frame of reference. According to that, who will be the target consumers? Target consumers will be the people who are just coming to grab something quickly and go, right? So they will be the target consumers basically. And the main competitors, if we take KFC, our main competitors will be in Sri Lanka. Now we don't have McDonald's, but in global aspect, we have McDonald's, we have Pizza Hut, we have Subway, right? Like that, we have some other fast food restaurants, Popeyes, like that. So how the brand is similar to those competitors? What are the similar things that our company or the KFC and all the other competitors have? Yes. All are giving a fast service. හැමෝගෙම ඉක්මනින් අපිට service එකක් අපි when we are comparing with fine dining restaurants, they will not be taking that much of time to give you the food, right? There's a fast service and also affordable, like compared to the other fine dining restaurants I'm talking about, right? All the other star class and other restaurants, the prices are a bit affordable comparatively. I'm not talking about the cyber card and all. I'm just comparing this with the other level, right? අපි අර හොඳට fine dining වලට යන තැනක් එක බැලුවාම prices can be a bit cheaper also. And basically, although in Sri Lanka it's a bit expensive, in the global aspect, they are using these fast food restaurants as something very cheap. You can just go and grab something. අපේ cyber card වගේ තමයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් globally මේ fast food chains වල prices යන්නේ. So they are very cheap. And the taste, it's like standardized. We know that it's junk, right? So the taste. And what are the PODs? KFC, after KFC ගත්තොත් what are the PODs? Yes. They are having a seat. Like, let's say දැන් අපි KFC ගත්තොත් අපිට ළඟින්ම යන example එකක් විදිහට ගන්න පුළුවන්. If you have heard about Popeyes. Popeyes අහලා තියෙනවා නම් Popeyes කියලා කියන්නේ අර මොකක්ද KFC එකට ළඟින්ම යන example එකක්. So අපි ඒගොල්ලන් එක්ක compare කරොත් එහෙම නැත්නම් ලංකාවේ තියෙනවා SFC, right? If we compare those competitors with the KFC, the distinct taste, the recipe, it cannot be copied, right? So that's the real POD KFC. That's what made them outstand since the starting date to today, right? So that's about frame of reference, POP and POD. But we are discussing about these in other slides also. So we are moving into the target market now, right? What does it mean by target market? From this image also, you can see what is the target market. Yes, what is the target market? Can you see? All the other balloons are blue and we have a red balloon. So we have targeting this. That kind of a thing is here in this image as well, right? So target market in the sense, out of all the people, out of all the market parts, we are calling them as segments in the market, right? Out of all these things, which segments are going to be targeted by our company? That's the target market, right? So before moving into the target market explanation, we need to know market segmentation. කොහොමද market එකක් segments වලට බෙදන්නේ කියන එක අපි දැනගන්න අවශ්‍යයි. Market segmentation. In this word also, in this phrase also, we have the meaning. We are segmenting the market. Market එක අපි කොටස් වලට බෙදනවා. That's called market segmentation. But can we do that like quickly, just අපිට හිතුන විදියට බෙදලා වෙන් කරන්න බෑ. We need some criteria to do that. We need to make sure that all the similar people with similar behavior, people with similarities are coming into one segment. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට මේක පොඩක් complex වෙනවා. So therefore, this market segmentation should be done carefully. So in this explanation, in this description also, it's told that divides the market into distinct groups of homogeneous customers, homogeneous consumers. What does it mean by homogeneous? It means with similar characteristics. If we take the whole market as a total, that's heterogeneous. It means it's not similar. අපි මුළු market එකම, let's say we are getting the whole Sri Lanka. Can you imagine how different the people from other people are? කොච්චර වෙනස්කම් තියෙනවද ඒගොල්ලන් අතර? That's heterogeneous. But if we analyze those features of these customers, and if we have divide them into distinct groups based on similar features, each group will be consisting of homogeneous consumers. Segment එකක් ඇතුලේ ඉන්න customers ලා එක වගේ behavior එකක් තියෙන කට්ටිය වෙන්න පුළුවන්. As an example, let's say 18 to 24 තමයි age එක. Age is from 18 to 24, university students in Colombo. So the behavior, the way they are, like most of the thinking patterns, everything kind of similar, right? So that's the homogeneous market segment. But අපි කිව්වොත් එහෙම Sri Lanka කියලා market එක, that's heterogeneous. University students ලා ඉන්නවා, working people ඉන්නවා, aging people ඉන්නවා, kids ලා ඉන්නවා, students ලා ඉන්නවා, that's heterogeneous, right? Homogeneous consumers in the sense they are same with the behavior. Okay, so this segmentation is done based on some criteria. අපිට මේ segments වලට අපේ market එකක් බෙදන්න, we need some criteria. We are calling them as consumer segmentation basis. අපිට මේ basis අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා market එක කොටස් වලට බෙදා ගන්න. So basically these bases are coming as geographic, psychographic, demographic, and behavior. So as an example, let's say we are going to sell a luxury car. The luxury car එකක් sell කරන්න හදන්න. So we need to identify what is our target customers in Sri Lanka, right? So for that, we need to categorize, or we need to have some segments in Sri Lankan market. අපි segments කීපයකට market එක බෙදලා බලනවා මොන segments ද අපිට target කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. So for that, we need those bases. We have geographic, we have psychographic, we have demographic, and we have behavior. So let's get geographic. Geographic in the sense territorial, not geographically. Can belong internationally or regionally, we can divide that. As an example, let's say, like simply geographic in the sense where they live. ඒගොල්ලන් ඉන්නේ කොහෙද කියන එක මත තමයි අපි segment කරන්නේ. So let's say McDonald's, අපි example එකක් විදිහට මේකට McDonald's ගත්තොත් geographically international කියලා ගත්තොත් how we can divide internationally. Yes, they are segmenting as Sri Lanka, Now we don't have McDonald's, but I mean, when they were in Sri Lanka was another segment. India, Europe, the US, China, Japan, like that. Or else, internationally, they can have like Asian region, Asia, Europe, Africa, like that. International, like whole globe will be divided based on the countries or like that. What does it mean by regional? How does it? How can we divide it as regional? Yes, we can get urban versus rural. Okay, so as an example, when they were in Sri Lanka, right, there were many outlets in Colombo compared to Anuradhapura. Anuradhapura, Eka compare, we had plenty of outlets which can be found in Colombo. It means they are prioritizing the urban people because there is a high tendency of purchasing compared to Anuradhapura, compared to rural areas. So in regional, we can segment that, right? Urban and urban, semi-urban, rural, like that, regional. Then what about demographic? Demographic means geographic means where they live, simply. What does it mean by demographic? Demographic in the sense who they are. Meana kauda, just based on their personal details. Sometimes income, age, sex, race, like that. The personal details. Income. කොහොමද අපි income එක categorize කරන්නේ? Low income, middle income, high income, like that we can categorize and we can think those middle to high income level people will buy McDonald's, like that. So these segments can be taken. Then what about age? We can categorize them based on age, right? Kids. If there are kids, we can target with Happy Meals. Let's say if there are some youth, we can target with burgers. And in Sri Lanka, for adults, they had rice, like that. We can categorize by dividing based on the age, sex, male or female, then race or the ethnicity, right? As an example, ethnicity was in I think when it comes to Japan, like that, they had some green tea based beverages. When it comes to Sri Lanka, they have some rice meals, but in America or somewhere, you can't find mac rice, right? Like that. So we can like categorize based on races, like Sri Lankan Sinhalese, Muslims, like that. We can categorize and we can cater them accordingly based on demographic factors also. Then what about psychographic? මොකක්ද demographic එකේ psychographic එකේ තියෙන වෙනස? මේ දෙක තමයි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට පැටලෙන්නේ. Psychographic in the sense how they think. It's not who they are. It's not about their personal details. It's about how they think, how they behave. That's about like not the behave, how they think, basically. What are their lifestyle patterns? What are their opinions? What they value? Those are coming under psychographic. Let's say lifestyle. We can take in lifestyle as an example, people who are choosing healthy options. Then as an example, if we take Subway and fast food chain, yeah, but they are like more in the health aspect, right? So for people who are like health conscious in their lifestyle, and let's say we have drive-thrus in McDonald's, KFC for busy people. That's their lifestyle. They are busy. They don't have time to go and dine in or to wait for takeaway. That's a lifestyle. And what about values? What does it mean by values? Yes, their values. Some people are there, they need cleanliness. Cleanliness is number one. And some people are there, they need the brand image. They value the brand image of the company. They are very loyal to the brand. Some people are there, they need cleanliness. That's their value. And opinions. They have the opinion that McDonald's is reliable. It's globally available. I can rely on this. Like with the opinions that they have. Those are coming under psychography. And what does it mean by behavioral? Yes, behavioral. How they behave, simply. Right? Usage rate in the sense. As an example, usage rate. Usage rate. Usage rate in the sense, how frequently they are buying. Then for McDonald's, sometimes some people are there who are eating every day from Mac. Some people are there who are just eating once in a while to celebrate something. That's the usage rate. And benefits. What are the benefits? Yes, based on benefits, based on customers who are searching benefits, customers the benefits හොයන විදිහට අපිට categorize කරන්න පුළුවන්. People who are searching for taste, people who are searching for convenience, people are searching for price, like that, benefits, based on benefits. And occasions. What does it mean by occasion? People who are visiting McDonald's to celebrate something special. That's an occasion. And let's say some people are there who are eating from McDonald's only when they are traveling. එළියට යනවා නම් travel කරන්න යනවා නම් ඒගොල්ලන් McDonald's වලින් කන ප්‍රවණතාවය වැඩි. Like that we can categorize. And brand loyalty. People who are very loyal to McDonald's and people who are not loyal and they're switching brands often. Like that we can categorize. So that's how we can use these bases in order to get some segments. දැන් අපි මෙතන McDonald's කියන එක categorize කරලා අපි segment එකක් හදාගත්තොත් එහෙම kids in Sri Lanka who are valuing the taste of McDonald's and frequently visiting. So that's one segment. තව segment එකක් අපිට ඕනනම් හදන්න පුළුවන් Sri Lankan adults who are female adults. අපි තවත් ගත්තොත් female adults who are having busy lifestyles and but thinking of, let's say, the benefit is price. එහෙම බැලුවොත් එතන එක segment එකක් අපිට හදාගන්න පුළුවන්. Like that we can categorize the whole market into segments based on these bases and then we can then finalize what segments to be targeted. එතකොට මේ target කරන segments අනුව අපේ target market එක define වෙනවා. Right. So once we, like, after segmenting the whole market into parts, we need to identify this criteria. Like once before the segment karla තියෙන්නේ. We have already segmented the whole market into segments and now we are going to choose the segments that suits us best. අපිට හොඳම segments ටික අපි target කරන්න යනවා. So in that scenario, we need to think of these criteria. මේ criteria ගැන අවධානයෙන් ඉන්න ඕනේ අපි segmentation කරනකොට. Segmentation කරලා criteria අපි මේ segments අඳුර ගන්නකොට. First one is identifiability. What does it mean? What does it mean by identifiability? Yes. The segment that you are going to choose should be measurable and identifiable in. It means clearly identify කරන්න පුළුවන් segment එකක් තමයි අපි තෝරගන්නේ. As an example, let's say females aging 8 to 25 lives in Colombo. Very clear, right? We can identify. හැබැයි එහෙම clear cut නැතුව youth living in urban areas. That's not clear. That's not easy to identify, right? The segment definition should be really identifiable. That should be easy for you to distinct. දැන් අපි කිව්වොත් අපේ segment එක තමයි urban areas වල ඉන්න youth. Which urban areas geographically එක හරියට මේ වෙලා නැහැ. Demographically වෙලා නැහැ. Right? We cannot identify. That's not clear. But if we say female aging 18 to 25 who lives in Colombo, that's clear. Right? So that's a very identifiable segment. Then what about size? Yes. Size in the sense, the segment should be substantial enough, or else the segment should be larger enough for you to earn some profit. ඔයාගේ segment එක ඇතුලේ there should be a considerable amount of buyers who can give you a profit. Right? අපි හිතමු අපි කියනවා මගේ target segment එක this particular school only, the kids who are learning in this ABC college. ඒකින ළමයි 1200ක් නම් your total segment will be limited to that. So that size is not sufficient for you to sustain. So you need to identify the size as a considerable size in order to make a profit. Size and accessibility. The segment that you are choosing should be easy to access. අපි හිතමු you are a company who is operating in Sri Lanka, but your target segment is in Africa. That's not accessible. That's not easily accessible, right? Sometimes we can, of course, have that kind of segments, but I'm talking about, let's say you are a startup, you are just having your business in Sri Lanka, but all of a sudden your segment has been identified in Africa. Then you need cost, right? You have to export your products, so like that. You need to think of those things. So accessibility is really important. And also you need to, in order, like you need to think of the marketing channels or the distribution channels. So not the marketing channels, distribution channels. How you are going to distribute. Wholesalers la හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. Retailers la ඉන්නවද? අපි කොහොමද මේක මේගොල්ලන්ට දෙන්නේ? මේ වගේ දේවල් අපිට හිතන්න පුළුවන් accessible segments තමයි අපි choose කරන්න ඕනේ. Right? අපි හිතුවොත් දැන් අපි we are an online business. අපි online business එක. But our target market is people who are above 70. ඒ වගේ ගත්තොත් එහෙම ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ computer literacy එක අඩුයි. අපිට සාර්ච් segment එක access කරන්න තියෙන hardships වැඩි. ඒගොල්ලන් online ඇවිල්ලා purchase එකක් දාන්න තියෙන chance එක අඩුයි. Like that. That's hard to access. Right? Then responsiveness. It means your target segment should be responsive. Now, what are the response කරන segment එකක් වෙන තරමට හොඳයි. As an example, let's say you are selling some high-end handbags, luxury handbags, and you are giving them price discounts. So is it something like, that for that segment, that price discounts, is it aligned? No, they are not going to respond for your discounts because there are some people who are thinking of the status, right? So these price discounts are more into like low to middle income earners, not to high income earners. Like that, you need to identify the responsiveness of this segment, how they are going to respond. The segment should respond differently to marketing efforts, right? The segment, a segment එක ඔයාගේ marketing efforts වල differently respond කරන්න පුළුවන් segment එකක් වෙන්න අවශ්‍යයි. That's about segmentation criteria. Okay, I hope it's clear. So nature of competition. We discussed about nature of competition based on point of reference as well. Like if we identify the points of reference, we can move into this, like we can identify the competition based on categorizing our category, identifying our category, nature of competition. Okay, so what does it mean by nature of competition? Yes, what does it mean by nature of competition? Once you identify your target market, ඔයා ඔයාගේ target market එක identify කරගන්නවා කියලා කියන්නේම you are like choosing with whom to compete. Once you decide, once you finalize your target market, right? You are also choosing with whom you are going to compete. ඔයාගේ target market එක ඔයා තෝරගන්න වෙලාවෙදී ඔයා කාත් එක්කද compete කරන්න කියන එකත් ඔයා decide කරලා ඉවරයි. Unknowingly or knowingly, you have chosen. So that's in this market, what is the nature of this competition? Yes. As like අපි කිව්වොත් අපි target market එක choose කරගෙන අපි target market එකට enter වෙනකොට මම ඇයි කිව්වේ අපි අපේ competition එක select කරලා ඉවරයි කියලා. It's because once you enter into this target market, right? Already the other players or some other companies are already playing in this segment. Already they are serving the same route. So there is a kind of competition. First one. And also some potentials are there who are planning to come and serve. Right? And also, when you are entering into this market and when you are trying to sell your product to the customers, same as the other competitors, definitely, automatically, your product will be compared with the other competitors. So that's the nature of this competition, right? So who you target in the market will decide with who you fight. That's a simple thing, right? Like when you are choosing to whom you are going to sell your product, it means then you have decided with whom you are going to fight, you are going to compete in the market. Okay, as an example, if we take McDonald's, KFC, ඒ වගේ ගත්තොත් අපි හිතමු their target market is most of the times, let's say kids in Sri Lanka, youth, students, right? Families with kids and everyone, busy workers sometimes, right? And let's say people who want fast food. Those are the target customers in the KFC. So let's say those are the same target group of Burger King as well, right? So then Burger King will become a competitor for you, right? So this is the nature of competition coming with targeting your market. That's how your nature of competition defines. Based on your target market, based on who you are targeting, the nature of competition that you are going to face will be decided simply, right? Okay. So indirect competition. What does it mean by indirect competition? As an example, අපි අර කලින් ගත්ත water bottle example එක ගමු. So there are two types as direct competition and indirect competition. So let's say all water bottles. We are all water bottles. So us direct competition will be the other water bottle sellers. Knuckles, American Water, Elephant House water bottles are there, and other brand water bottles. Those are the direct competitor in our company, in our brand, own brand. So what are the indirect competitions? Yes. මෙතන අපි lesson එකක් කියන්නේ. It means then අපි හිතමු in company you are just thinking all the other water bottle brands are your competition. No, that's not true, right? That's your direct competition. You have an indirect competition as well. It means what? Milo, Nescafe Tetra Pak, that ready-made drink, then My Juice, Elephant House milk packets, then daily milk packets, juices, right? Iced coffee, like that. There are so many indirect competitors there. So these are also competing with your brand. If the customer has a choice, if the customer is deciding, I'm thirsty, do I need to have water or some fruit juice? Then that indirect competition will be created. ඔයා හිතන්න හිටියොත් එහෙම කස්ටමර්ට වතුර තිබහා ඇවිල්ලා නකල්ස්ද ඕලුද කියලා හිතනවා කියලා that's not true, right? ඔයාට තිබහයි නම් ඔයා හිතනවා වතුර බෝතලයක් ගන්නවා නම් ඔන්න fruit juice එකක් ගන්නවා. That's how indirect competition creates that. Okay? So as an example, we can tell for biscuits in Sri Lanka, let's say Munchie. For Munchie, we can, although Melbourne is their main competitor, right? අපි ගත්තොත් indirectly, the cakes prepared by Peris and Sons, the cakes prepared by Green Cabin, sometimes become an indirect competition because the let's say our customer, there are some visitors in his home, he's deciding මම මාංචි chocolate biscuit packet එකක් අරන් යනවා green cabin එකේ cake එකක් අරන් යනවා. Like that, this indirect competition can occur. And also let's say tea. Dilma tea ගන්නවද නැත්නම් Nescafe එකේ coffee packet එකක් අරන් යනවා. Coffee tin එකක් අරන් යනවා. Like that, this indirect competition is also something really important that you should think of. Okay. All right, so before moving into the multiple frames of reference, let's have a break and then I'll continue. Let's have a 15 minutes break and then let's continue on multiple frames of reference. Like 10 minutes will be enough, right? Because we have a big thing to discuss today. So it's 10:07. We'll start at 10:20. Okay, let's proceed with multiple frames of reference, right? So in this multiple frames of reference, I think okay, I'll give you 1 minute to relog, then we'll start. Ask your friends to join again because we are going to start. Okay, let's start. Multiple frames of reference. So we discussed about frame of reference, right? I think you can remember now. We just discussed that. So frames of reference in the sense, we are deciding in which category we are going to compete, right? So what does it mean by multiple frames of reference? Multiple frames of reference can mock up. Multiple frames of reference in the sense, then අපි කියවනේ category එක මේක කියලා අපි දැන් හිතනවා water bottles categories beverage category, but if you can remember I discussed about energy drinks, right? I told that there can be some other categories that energy drink may suit in. That's the multiple frames of preference. It means you may be positioning your product not only in one category but also in many other categories. That's called multiple frames of reference. That's something common that you can see. As an example, let's say Apple, right? In Apple, they have iPhones, they have Apple Music, they have MacBooks, they have Apple Watches. So all these products are getting categorized under different categories, different frames, right? Let's say iPhone is a smartphone brand, MacBook is a computer brand, then Apple Watch, it's coming under wearable brands, something you're wearing. Apple Music, it's coming under entertainment. Like that, you can have multiple frames of references. So Apple as a brand has a competition with smartphones, with laptop brands, with watch brands, and also with entertainment brands sometimes. Like that, there can be multiple frames of references. Let's say Starbucks, right? So if you take Starbucks, it's a coffee shop. And for some people, it's a workspace. And for some people, it's just like a social meeting place for friends to hang out like that. For some, it's a lifestyle brand. My coffee got the Starbucks like that. So therefore, they have a competition with cafes because it's a coffee shop. They have a competition with restaurants because people are coming to meet and have some meals there. And they have to compete with the co-working spaces because they are like people are coming to study and work in their coffee places. In Sri Lankan context, we can take barista, right? As an example, not Starbucks, let's say barista. Then as a lifestyle brand, they have to, compete with the other local coffee shops, right? The other cafes, Java Lounge sometimes, right? So this is a multiple frame of reference, how the multiple frame of reference is getting into action. Okay. Next, we have an advertisement. You can let's see this first.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වතාවට කන්නත් පුළුවන් බොන්නත් පුළුවන් 2-in-1 yogurt එක Anchor Noodle Shake. Anchor Noodle Shake. කන්න පුළුවන් බීමක් බොන්න පුළුවන් කෑමක්.
Okay, in that video, the same yogurt you can either eat, you can either drink, right? So it's coming under beverage category, and also it's coming under dairy product, the yogurts and other food category. So like that, the same product can be categorized in some other multiple frames. That's called multiple frame of reference. Okay. Now we are moving, that's about frames of reference. The first point that we discussed in the positioning. And now we are moving into POPs and PODs. Okay. So points of parity and points of difference. I discussed and I explained to you what point of parity means and what point of difference means, right? In simple words. So points of parity in the sense, again, if we explain in simple words, like we are like others. That's the message that they are going to give to the customers. In points of parity, what they need to tell as a brand is, we are same like others. අපි අනිත් අය වගේම තමයි. We are fitting this category. අපි මේ category එකට අයිති වෙනවා. කියන එක තමයි points of parity කියන features වලින් කියන්න හදන්නේ. Then what about point of difference? But we are special. Although we are like others, අපි අනිත් අය වගේම වුණාට we are special. So that's the points of difference. Wherever you need to have something unique with you just to stand out from the other competitors. That's the point of difference, right? So in order to position your product in a proper place, establishing the correct points of differences and points of parity associations is really important, right? So points of different associations, we also known as unique selling proposition, sustainable competitive advantage, those are similar concepts, right? So points of different associations, what does it mean by points of different associations? Yes, we already discussed, right? They are the unique features or benefits that customers like, customers remember, and competitors cannot easily copy. That's the important thing. Customers should like these PODs. You are going to have a POD. You are going to make your product stand out from the rest, and you should make sure that the attributes that you're using are desirable by the customers. And also customers should be able to remember that. ඔයා වෙනසක් කරලා තියෙනවා ඒක customer හොයාගන්න බැරි නම් that's not going to be a successful POD, right? And also competitors cannot be easily copied that. If the competitors are going to copy your PODs, then no longer that will be a POD. That will become a POP. In the PODs, customers are copy කරන්න බැරි වෙන්න අවශ්‍යයි. Right? So these PODs are the main reasons for the customers to stick with your brand. අනිත් brands වලට යන්නේ නැතුව ඔයාගේ brand එකට එන්න customers වලට තියෙන main reason එක තමයි ඔයාගේ PODs. You like when you are going to consume something, you must have a reason to consume this in this particular brand. ලක්සබන් කැටයක් හොයාගන්නවා නම් Lifebuoy වලට යන්නේ නැතුව there is a particular reason. Or රාණි සබන් කැටයක් ගන්න නැතුව ලක්සබන් කැටයක් ගන්නවා there is a particular reason. So this unique reason, because රාණි සබන් කැටේ ලක්සබන් කැටේ like they are in a similar category, like they are saying, but something special is there with Lux for you to go with Lux. So that's the period, right? Okay. So what about point of parity associations? What does it mean by POPs? Yes? They are not unique. As I mentioned earlier, they are just like others. That's the message that you are giving with POPs. So basically, we are identifying three main categories as POPs, right? There are three as category, competitive and correlation, three types of POPs. So the first one is category point of parity. Simply, this is the basic requirement that you need to be in that category. Main categories ටික ඔයාලට නැත්තම් අපි හිතමු you are a restaurant, right? You are just a simple restaurant. For you to become a restaurant, you need some things with you, no? Let's say you need a menu. You need some seatings. You need your food to be safe. මේව නැත්තම් ඔයාව restaurant එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. You will not be coming under this restaurant category either. නේද? එතකොට May point of category point of parity means they are the things which makes you into this particular category. ඔයාව මේ category එක ඇතුළට දාන්න අවශ්‍ය කරන basic requirement එක තමයි category point of parity කියලා කියන්නේ. Right? So without these category POPs, you will not be same like the others. You will not be suitable for this category. In a basic දේවල්. Category point of parity. Okay. Next, competitive points of parity. Competitive points of parity means දැන් ඔන්න basic requirements ටික තියෙනවා ඔයාට category එකකට යන්න පුළුවන්. So those are the category POPs. Then what are the competitive POPs? Competitive POPs කියලා කියන්නේ මොනවද? Yes. These are the POPs which help you to fight with your competitors. Right? It means competitors ලා ඉගලංගාව විතරක් වගේ තියෙන දෙයක් නම් එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි හිතමු these firstly අපි කිව්වා category point of parity. These are the basic requirements for you to enter into the category. They are not sufficient for you to compete with your competitors. Right? Restaurant එකේ seating තිබ්බා කියලා ඒක ඇවිල්ලා ඔයාව restaurant එකක් කරාට ඔයාට අනිත් පැත්තට එක්ක compete කරන තරම් දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. But these competitive points of parity will help you to compete with your competitors. Right? They will help to fight the competition. As an example, let's say KFC is having burgers. Now, KFC is just selling burgers. Have you seen recently Domino's is also selling burgers? That's the simple meaning in competitive point of parity. Then what about correlational point of parity? Look at the correlational point of parity. There are points of differences. As an example, let's say Apple is famous for its high quality. Right? So that's their point of difference. Luxury brand, high quality brand, high quality and luxury brand, that's their POD. One of the PODs. Right? So when they are establishing that POD as a high quality luxury brand, eventually there's a negative feeling coming up like high price. There, you can then correlation make a negative. I mean, when your quality is getting increased, the sense of price is decreasing. It's because you are having a high quality, high price. Right? So to cover up those negative correlations coming up, you are having some particular POPs. So these POPs are used to, the balance of this negative idea coming up from your strong POPs. Simply, this correlational points of parities are used to balance the negative idea coming up from your strong POPs. Right? So that's about correlational points of parity. Okay, so for the brands to achieve a point of parity on a particular attribute or benefit, a sufficient number of consumers must believe that the brand is good enough to for that dimension. That's a fair point, right? Let's say POPs ගොඩාක් ඔයාලට තිබ්බත් වැඩක් නැහැ. කස්ටමර් ඒක වැළඳගත්තේ නැත්නම්. Let's say for POPs, right? Your brand should not it's not just needed to be the best or the perfect brand. It should be just acceptable. That's a simple thing. POPs that should be just good enough for customers to accept. Right? Customers must feel that the brand is good enough in basic features. That's what needed for POPs to be successful. There is a new brand which is coming to compete in this biscuit category, and if as customers we feel like this is not a biscuit, this is not coming under this category, this is not good enough to compete with the other brands available in the market, then your POPs are not good enough. Right? Your brand should not be like outstanding. You should not be in the position of giving a wow feeling to the customers. No, that's not expected. You need just to be accepted based on the POPs. POPs you should be accepted enough. You should be able to accept. That's the idea that we need to come have with this POPs. Right? Adequacy is enough. Perfection is not expected in POPs. I mean, simply customers should feel like, okay, the brand is okay. I can trust it. That's enough, right? You don't need to be amazing. You don't need to be giving that wow feeling to the customers in terms of POPs. Okay, so POPs versus PODs. Here, there is something special, range of tolerance or acceptance. අපි නැත්නම් කියනවා zone of tolerance. එහෙම නැත්නම් zone of acceptance. මොකද්ද මේ කියන්නේ? For POPs, points of parity වලට මෙන්න මේ zone of tolerance එහෙම නැත්නම් zone of acceptance එහෙම නැත්නම් range of tolerance, range of acceptance මේ වචන හතරම කියන්නේ එකම දේ. මෙන්න මේක තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? අර කලින් කියපු කතාව තමයි. මේ zone of tolerance කියලා කියන්නේ customers will tolerate your brand as long as it is good enough. Range of tolerance. ඔයාගේ brand එක customers ගේ basic attributes ටික fulfill කරනවා නම් right? ඒකෙන් ඒගොල්ලන්ට ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇති වෙන්නේ නැති තාක්කල් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ brand එක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ range එක ඇතුලේ තියාගන්න. You should, like, customers will accept you if you are not bad and if you are good enough. They are not expecting a perfection from you. That's their zone of tolerance or zone of acceptance. Like, for the basic features, they are thinking like, is this acceptable? Right? Like, if it's acceptable, then they are just satisfied. ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඒක accept වෙනවා වගේ තේරෙනවා නම් ඒගොල්ලන් ඒක accept කරනවා. Like, ඔයා McDonald's එකට ගිහිල්ලා ඔයා KFC එකට ගිහිල්ලා එනවා Pizza Hut එකට ගිහිල්ලා ඔයා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහනේ super luxury අර Shangri-La එකේ restaurant එකක vibe එක ඔයා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ ඔයා Pizza Hut එකට ගිහින්. So that's your zone of tolerance, right? But Shangri-La එකට ගිහිල්ලා ඔයාට හම්බෙන experience එක Pizza Hut එකටත් වඩා අවුල් experience එකක් නම් then your range of tolerance, it's not within your range of tolerance, right? It's not within your zone of tolerance or your range of acceptance, right? එතකොට why these POPs are easy to achieve? ඇයි අපිට POP එකක් හදාගන්න එක ලේසි compared to a POD? It's because if you have the adequate quality as the competitors ලා වගේම ඔයාලා හොඳ quality එකක් තියෙනවා නම් performances හොඳයි නම් ලොකු ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩක් නැත්තම් ඔයාගේ brand එක okay නම් POP එකක් හදාගන්න ලේසි. That's the POP, right? But for POD, you should be distinct. So that's the difference between a POP and a POD. PODs are like a bit harder to make compared to POPs, right? Because PODs, like, why දැන් අපි කතා කරන්නේ ඇයි POPs lazy අපිට achieve කරන්න කියලා. So why PODs are harder to achieve? ඇයි අපිට POD එකක් achieve කරගන්න එක hard වෙන්නේ? Yes. Why is it hard? Because for PODs, you need to have a clear superiority. You need to have something special with you. You need to be better than the competitors. That's something hard and it will take time. ඔයාට ඒක හිතන්න ටික කාලයක් යනවා. Right? මොකද ඒ වගේ PODs වලින් තමයි අර ගොඩාක් ඇතුලේ ඔයාව stand out කරන්න. So for that, it will take time and it will be a bit harder compared to the POPs. Right? Okay. So, we are moving into positioning guidelines, right? positioning guidelines. දැන් අපි කතා කරා positioning වලදී අවශ්‍ය වෙන දේවල් තුන සම්බන්ධයෙන්. It's frame of reference, POPs and PODs. So now we are moving into positioning guidelines. What does it mean by positioning guidelines? You have some guidelines to follow when you are positioning your brand, when you are trying to position your brand, right? So, there are some key issues in arriving at the optimal competitive brand positioning. They are defining and communicating the competitive frame of reference, choosing and establishing point of parity and point of difference. Okay, so let's go one by one, right? First, you need to, අපි මේක කලින්ත් කතා කරා. කලින් අර කතා කරපු ප්‍රශ්න හතර වගේම තමයි මෙතනත් අපි discuss කරන්න හදන්නේ. First one is deciding who it is competing with, who your company or who your brand is competing with. That's the first one. Next one is how is your brand going to be similar to the other competitors and how is it going to be different? මේ දෙක තමයි මෙතන අපි කතා කරන්නේ. Right? The first one is defining and communicating the competitive frame of reference. It means what? Simply, මොකද්ද මේකෙන් කියන්නේ? It means the brand must clearly tell the customers, right, which category I am in. Which category am I in? මම මොන category එකේද ඉන්නේ කියන එක customer ට clearly කියන්න ඕනේ. Energy drink එක කියන්න ඕනේ මම ඉන්න category මොනවද කියලා. I'm in the beverage category. I am in this gym enthusiast related some kind of category, right? ඒ වගේ මම ඉන්න category එක මම clearly කියන්න ඕනේ. And also, who are my main competitors? කවුද මගේ main competitors? මම කාට එක්කද compete කරන්නේ? කාට වඩාද මම හොඳ? මෙන්න මේ දෙක තමයි අපි basically මේ first point එකේදී, first guideline එකේදී කියන්නේ. Right? So, company should tell whether I am a luxury brand, I'm a simple brand, I'm a budget brand, like that. You should define yourself. That's the first guideline. And the next one is, once you choose your category, you need to tell what are the basic things that I have as a brand to be in this category. And then, what makes me special? One of the points of difference. So this is, these are the guidelines that you should have. Okay. Yes, we discussed this. Next, how to convey a brand category membership. So we are in here. What does it mean by determining category membership? මොකද්ද මේ category membership එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ? Yes, what does it mean by category membership? How to convey a brand category membership? මොකද්ද මේ category membership එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ? Is anyone just the basic meaning? Category membership කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි simple term එකකින් ගත්තොත් එහෙම මොන category එකේද membership එක තියෙන්නේ මගේ brand එක කියලාද? Right? So communicating the category benefits. How to convey a brand's category membership කියන එක තමයි අපි කතා කරන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි මොන මොන category එකේද ඉන්නේ කියන එක කොහොමද අපි customer ට කියන්නේ කියන එක තමයි අපි මේ කතා කරන්න හදන්නේ. The first one is communicating your category benefits by telling what are your benefits. Then by highlighting the main benefits of the category in your product. මෙන්න මේ benefit දැන් අපි හිතමු අපි ගන්නේ beverage category එක කියලා. It should be like the products that are in this beverage category should be able to quench the thirst. तर මමත් කියනවා මගේ product එකටත් මේක කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. Right? දැන් මේ benefit එක නම් ඔයා මේ category එකකින් හොයන්නේ ඒක මගේ එකෙත් තියෙනවා. Like that you are communicating the category benefits to your brand. That is the first way that you can use. Let's say අපි ගමු barrister. barrister එකේ barrister එක අපි කිව්ව category එකක් විදිහට යනවා කියලා workspace. So they are promoting like we have plug points, we have Wi-Fi, you can come and work whenever you need, right? We are just serving you to have a good workspace within us like that. They are telling that they have that they can come, like they are communicating this category benefits through their brand, then they will definitely can convey that they have the membership in this category. That's the first thing. Then comparing the exemplars. What does it mean by exemplars? I just added that here. What does it mean by exemplars? They are comparing themselves with well-known leaders. Barista gatto, they can compare them with Starbucks, right? You can then, as an example, let's say for Starbucks, they have some seasonal coffees. For Halloween, they have that pumpkin spice latte, like that. So, barista තුකලන් දැකලා තියෙනවා නම් Christmas cup launching එකක් කරනවා Christmas කාලෙට විතරක් specifically තියෙන menu items තියෙනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ. Like that, they are comparing to exemplars. නිකන් ඒගොල්ලන් එතකොට ඔළුවට යනවා Starbucks එකෙත් මෙහෙම තිබ්බා barista එකත් මෙහෙම කරනවා. The category එක ඒගොල්ලන් ඉන්න category එක සම්මන් කියන්නේ අපේ customers ලගේ ඔළුවට යනවා. That's comparing to exemplars, famous brands. That's about another way how you can convey the brand's category membership. Next one, relying on the product descriptor. What does it mean by relying on the product descriptor? The brand can use some clear wordings to describe what it sells. දැන් අපි හිතමු barista. Barista කිව්වහම අපිට එකපාරටම ඔළුවට යනවා coffee. Barista means people who are preparing coffee. And then they are just having the words coffee, cafe, beverages. There is no confusion. You know that barista is a coffee shop. Starbucks is a coffee shop. That's how they are using like coffee cups use කරනවා, coffee කියන word එක හැමදාම use කරනවා. අර smell එක යන මේ font එක use කරනවා like that. They are having this product descriptors. They are relying on this product descriptors so that in the customer's mind, it's establishing as a coffee brand. It's a cafe. ඒක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ඔළුවට යනවා මේ descriptors use කරන නිසා. So this is how you can convey the brand's category membership, right? Then choosing point of difference. What does it mean by choosing point of difference here? The brand must give something strong and believable to their customers so that customers will choose them. Again, customers la අපේ brand එක choose කරන්න නම්, right? We need to give them a reliable, believable and a strong POP. Right? ඒගොල්ලන් මොකක් හරි believe කරන්න පුළුවන් විදිහේ POD එකක් දෙන්න ඕන. එතකොට මේ POD එක කස්ටමර්ට අවශ්‍ය දෙයක් වෙන්නත් අවශ්‍යයි. දැන් අපි හිතමු අපි අපිට වෙනස් වෙන්න ඕන කියලා මොකක් හරි දෙයක් කරනවා. අපි අනිත් කස්ටමර්ස්ලට වඩා අපි වෙනස් කියලා පෙන්නන්න අපේ පැකේජින් එකට මොකක් හරි දානවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට කස්ටමර් යූස්ෆුල් නැති, කස්ටමර්ට අවශ්‍ය නැති දෙයක් දාලා ස්ටෑන්ඩ් අවුට් වෙන්න හදනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ එහෙම ලොකුවට ඒක highlight වෙන්නේත් නැහැ කස්ටමර්ට. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපි හිතමුකෝ පැකේජින් එක වෙනම කලර් එකකින් එහෙම තිබිලා මේ යනවා නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් කස්ටමර්ට එක වෙන කරලා අඳුර ගන්න හරි පුළුවන් කියලා. හැබැයි එහෙමත් නැතුව මොකක් හරි නිකන් අපිට just අපි යුනික් කියලා පෙන්නන්න මොකක් හරි ඩිසයින් එකට මොනවා හරි දෙයක් ඇඩ් කරනවා. Customer doesn't need that, right? We need like a POD to be chosen. It should be wanted by the customers. And you should be able to you should be able to deliver that. The possibility of delivering the POD. POD එක desirable වෙන්න ඕනේ. I'm discussing about this. Desirable, deliverable and differentiating, right? Deliverable. So these are the three criteria. First one is desirable criteria. Sorry, I couldn't move the slide. So for a point of difference to be chosen, the first one is desirable criteria that I told. It means that should be desirable by the customers. Customer එකට කැමති වෙන්න ඕනේ. Customerට ඒක important වෙන්න ඕනේ. Customer ඔළුවට යන්න ඕනේ දැන් හරි. මේගොල්ලන් කියනවා මෙයාලා වෙනස් වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ feature එක හින්දා. ඇත්තටම මට මේ feature එක ඕනේද? Right? Really? do I need this? අන්න ඒකට උත්තරේ yes I want this. මට මේක ඕනේ. මේක මට වැදගත්. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ නැති මේගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන මේ parity එක මට වැදගත්. This point of difference, sorry, not the parity, point of difference, this is really important for me. Right? So if the customers don't value it, as an example, let's say in Lux, ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ POD එකක් ආව, they are having just a stencil. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කැටයමක් එක්ක ඒගොල්ලන් අර මේ soap එක ඉස්සරහා කැටයමක් දැම්මා. ඒක ඒගොල්ලන් සෑහෙන ප්‍රොමෝට් කරා. But that was not that much, welcome by the customers. Customers like වැළඳගත්තේ නැහැ. Customers ට ඒක අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. ඒක දවසක් දිනවා මේක දියවල යනවා කැපේම තිබ්බා කියලා ලොකුවට ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඒක POD එකක් විතර දැනුන්නේ නැහැ. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ අර do I need this කියන question එකට yes I want this කියන answer එක ආවේ නැහැ. Right? So desirability criteria කියන එක වැදගත්. That's really important. The next one is deliverability criteria. What does it mean by deliverability criteria? Can the brand really provide it? Brand එකට මේක provide කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? ඇත්තටම මේක ඉදලන් කියනවා වගේම දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද? Right? Because the brand, in order to become a trustworthy brand, they should keep their promises. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ promise එක යාලා තියන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට මට මේ promise එක ඇත්තටම තියන්න පුළුවන්ද? The deliverability criteria. Can we really deliver this to our customers? Can the brand really provide this to the customers? Right? So, we can then have a example එකක් අපි කියමු there is අපි කියමු there is a dressmaker ඇඳුම් මහලා විකුණන කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඇඳුමක් මහලා එක පැයෙන් දෙකකින් දෙන්නේ නැහැ but she or he is telling that I can give you your clothes finished by just 2 hours. හැරෙකින් මම දෙනවා. That's his deliverability criteria. එතකොට මේ deliverability criteria එක ඇත්තටම යාර කරන්න නම් they need to have the technology. They need to have proper capital. They need to have the skills. They need to have created a system. Right? මේ දේවල් එක්ක මේ deliverability criteria එක. මම sorry මේ ඉතින් deliver කරනවා කියන දේ ඇත්තටම ඒගොල්ලන්ට දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද? Are they possible? Right? That's the deliverability criteria. Then differentiation criteria. Is it really different? මේක ඇත්තටම වෙනස්ද? Right? ඒ කියන්නේ customer ට මේක දැක්ක ගමන් හිතෙනවා වෙන brands වල මේක නෑ. මෙයාලා ගාව විතරයි මේක තියෙන්නේ. Others don't offer this. Right? Like this is the only brand that I have seen this the attribute is available. Right? If everyone has it, it's not a POD. So differentiation criteria is important. Apple's iOS, right? Apple එකේ තියෙන්නේ Android system එකක් නෙමෙයි. They have their iOS system. So they have that unique different feature, right? That's a differentiation criteria which is something that is really hard to copy. Right? අපි හිතමු කවුරු හරි ඇවිල්ලා අලුත් ෆෝන් එකක් ඇවිල්ලා කියනවා we are having a good camera. එහෙම කිව්වා කියලා that's not going to be something special. That's not going to differentiate you. Right? That's called differentiation criteria. Okay. I think it's clear, right? I think it's establishing point of parity and point of difference is clear to you. Okay. Now we are moving into another issue that we are going to face when we are having these POPs and PODs. We are just slightly discussed it in correlation POP. Some attributes are like naturally seen as opposites. සමහර attributes තියෙනවා low price, high quality වගේ දේවල්. ඊට price එකත් අඩු කරන්න ඕනේ, quality එකත් වැඩිපුර දෙන්න ඕනේ. So these are like opposite attributes. So these perceptions create a challenge in positioning. අපිට අඩු price එකකට දෙන්නත් ඕනේ, quality එක වැඩි කරන්නත් ඕනේ. High quality එකකට high price වෙනවනේ, low price එකකට දෙන්න බෑ. So this kind of negatively correlated attributes are coming into action when we are going to establish POPs and PODs. Right? So, but for a brand to be success, the key to the success of a brand is to establish both the POPs and PODs. The POPs and PODs කියන දෙකම හරියට establish කරන එක තමයි brand එකක success එක වෙන්නේ. But ඒකට අපි actions ගන්නකොට මෙන්න මේ negative correlated attributes කියන issue එකට face කරන්න වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So these are some examples of negatively correlated attributes. Low prices versus high quality. අපි low price එකකට දෙන්නත් ඕනේ, high quality එකකට දෙන්නත් ඕනේ. Taste versus low calories. සමහර තැන්වල අපිට දැන් රසත් ඕනේ, කැලරි ප්‍රමාණය අඩු වෙන්නත් ඕනේ. දැන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් දැන් ගත්තොත් Subway. Subway එක ගත්තොත් they are trying to be tasty and healthy as well. Right? They are trying to do that, but ගොඩක් අර idea එකක් තියෙනවා Subway is not that much tastier compared to the other fast food options. But they are trying to be like, they are trying to balance out. But let's say Nestle එකකින් වගේ කියලා තියෙනවා campaign එක. අපි දැන් taste එක වැඩි කරන්න නම් අපේ health පැත්ත ගැන healthy foods tasty නෑ කියන එක බොරුවක් වගේ campaign එකක් Nestle එකකින් කරලා තිනවා just to minimize this negative correlation, but still these negative correlations are there. The nutritious versus good tasting, efficacious versus mild, powerful versus safe, strong versus refined. Like that, there are some kind of negative correlations are going on. අපි දැන් ගත්තොත් එහෙම efficacious versus mild. And strong සහ mild කියන strong flavor එකක් එක්ක mild diet එකක් දෙනවා වගේ එකක් අපි කිව්වා කියලා. එතකොට අපිට ඒ වගේ දෙයක් ඇත්තටම කරන්න අමාරුයි. Let's say we are thinking of the strong flavor. Then Pizza Hut එකේ වගේ strong flavor, strong cheese and chicken flavor එකක් දාන්න. හැබැයි is it mild? ඒක mild නැහැ. That's really heavy and oily, right? So these kind of negative correlations are there. දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් varied versus simple කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක simple වෙන්නත් ඕනේ, හැබැයි variety එකක් තියෙන්නත් ඕනේ. That's not something practical for us to do, but as brand managers, as marketers, we need to find solutions to minimize this this maybe to extend the company. So we need to cope this extends into some point where it's just balancing out. That's the duty of the marketers, right? Okay. So let's see in the main negative correlations. කොහොමද අපි address කරන්නේ? දැන් ඒක duty එකක් අපි අපේ responsibility ගන්න we need to have some solutions now. So these are some solutions that are suggested, right? First one is separating attributes. What does it mean? Separating the attributes. මොකක්ද ඒ කියන්නේ? This. What does it mean by separating the attributes? මොනවද attributes කියලා කියන්නේ? අපි කතා කරන්නේ ඉස්සර වෙලා අපි කතා කරනකොට මේ product එක brand එක ගැන. What are the attributes? Attributes in the sense the features that the brand has. It can be brand එකේ දැන් අපි features POPs PODs එක අපි promote කරන්නේ මේ features. So මෙන්න මේ features වලට අපි කියනවා attributes කියලා. Right? So separating those attributes, what does it mean? Just give me a minute. Okay. So separate the attributes means we need to make sure our features are distinctly identifiable by the customers. අපේ features එහෙම නැත්නම් brand එකේ preferences customers වල දෙන මේ preferences attributes හරිම වෙනස් විදිහට හරිම පිළිවෙලට customer යනවාද කියන එක. So for this we can have a solution. We can have different versions for different needs. We can have separate products for separate needs. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් එක product එකකින් අර දෙපැත්තෙන් අපිට මේක product එකක් low price side, එක product එකක් high quality එකක්. Like that we can do. Right? Let's say දැන් McDonald එකේ ගත්තොත් එහෙම healthy versus tasty කියන problem එක එනවනේ. එතකොට අපි ගත්තොත් tasty වලට we can give that normal burger. McDonald's and KFC we can give a normal burger. But let's say we are going to have low calorie something, then we can introduce something like salad. Salad එකක් වගේ එකක්. මෙතන McDonald's එකෙන් KFC එකෙන් ඒගොල්ලන්ට introduce කරන්න පුළුවන්. Just balancing out with using some separate attributes. We can separate attributes to separate products. That's one way that we can use. Right? Next one is leverage equity of another entity. It means using another brand's reputation for us. Look at the example. Let's say in Subway, right? Subway එකට තියෙනවා like ඉදලන් healthy කිව්වට healthyම නැහැ. ඒ තරම් රසක් නැහැ. Likewise, that kind of a mindset in our customer's mind. So the brand can use some name, image, or the support of another trusted brand to improve this. They are just borrowing their strength to improve their trust. As an example, let's say McDonald's, එහෙම නැත්නම් KFC වගේ fast food එකක් අපිට ගත්තොත් they can just partner up with something healthy, let's say some health campaigns, and they can introduce some salads or something related to that. We are going to leverage that equity. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි ගමු Starbucks වගේ එකක් ගත්තොත් එහෙම අපි කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන් ලක්ෂරි. ඒගොල්ලන් අර ඉච්චර එහෙම ethical ද ඒවා අපි දන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන් ලක්ෂරි එහෙම තියෙන mindset එකක් නම් they can just cope with some ethically sourcing suppliers. දැන් අර labels ලා හැම හරියට පාවිච්චි කරලා coffee plug කරන එහෙම suppliers ලාත් එක්ක ඒගොල්ලන්ට partner up එකකට යන්න පුළුවන් to showcase that they are responsible. That showcase they are, although they are a premium brand, they are thinking of the society, they are thinking of others. ඒ වගේ idea එකක් දෙන්න ඒ වගේ partnership එකකට යන්න පුළුවන්. So in simple words, leverage equity of another entity කියලා අපි කියන්නේ use a trusted name to support your claim. ඔයා කියන දේ ඇත්ත කියලා පෙන්නන්න ඔයා තව brand එකක trust එක already trust එක දිනාගත්ත brand එකක support එක ගන්න. Leverage equity of another entity. Next one, redefining the relationship. What does it mean? Here, it's not that much easy, but we are trying to change customers' thinking about the conflict. The conflict එක ගැන customers ලා හිතන විදිහ වෙනස් කරන්න අපි try කරනවා. Right? It shows that both pictures can go together. දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම customer ගේ mind එකේ තියෙනවා රසයින කියන ಗುಣ දේවල් එච්චර රස නැහැ කියලා. හැබැයි අපි try කරනවා ಗುಣ දේවලුත් රසට ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා ප්‍රමෝට් කරන්න. Right? So example එකක් තමයි මම අර කලින් කිව්වා වගේ Nestle එක එනකොට the old belief was healthy food is boring. But they tried to campaign that healthy foods can also be tasty through their ads and the product designs. That's how they tried to do that. So these are the three main ways that we can use to address those negatively correlated POPs and PODs. Separating the attributes, leveraging equity of another entity, and redefining the relationship. So this is how we can do it. Okay, so we are moving into the next one. So these are some examples, right, related to that. Straddle positions. We are moving into straddle positions. Okay, before moving into this, do you have any questions? Because we have a whole lesson to finish. So if you have questions, you can ask before moving into this. I will give you like 5 minutes. Like if you are not willing to talk, you can just raise your questions through the chat box as well. Right, I will give you just 5 minutes. You can go through what we have learned up to now, and then you can raise questions if you have. Then I will move into straddle positions. Yes, please ask questions if you have. I'll give you like 5 minutes till like 11:10. අපි මම ඉන්නම් ඔයගලන්ට ටිකක් go through කරන්න අපි කරපු ටික. මොකද අපි ටිකක් ඉක්මනට කරගෙන ආවා. And you can ask me questions if you have questions. Like there were some many theories there. I was just explaining them in අනිත් මම ඉක්මනට කරගෙන ආවා වගේ එකක්. ඒකින්ද ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොනවා හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න පුළුවන්. Or else you can use the chat box. Is any questions? Like use this time to go through and like raise questions if you have, because yes, POP and POD. We discussed it clearly, POP and POD, right? In here, POP in the sense, what is like, let's go to that slide because I'm ඉස්සෙල්ලා කතා කරේ POP and PODs තමයි. Okay, let's move into that slide. POP is in the sense as an, I will take an example and I'll explain. So in POP, let's say, water bottle example, අපේ water bottle example එකම අපි ගමු. So you have the similar things as a brand which are possessed by the competitors as well. Competitor එකක් තියෙනවා, ඔයාටත් තියෙනවා. ඒවට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ POPs කියන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි හැම දැන් අපේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක දැන් අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම water bottle එකක් water bottle එකකින් වතුර බොන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක අපි expect කරනවා හැම වතුර බොන්න පුළුවන් අපේ පිපාසයට solution එකක් එනවා ඒ වගේම අපිට ඒක portable අරන් යන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ හැලෙන්නේ නැතුව එනනම් මම කියන්නේ bottled mineral water එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ එච්චර බර නැතුව අපිට easily quickly grab කරලා අරන් යන්න පුළුවන් වෙන විදිහ එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ කියන එක අපි දන්නවා that those are the basic things customers are expecting from the product. These are called POPs. Right? එතකොට මේ වතුර බෝතල් මාකට් එකේ ඔයාවම සිලෙක්ට් කරන්න. ඔයාවම සිලෙක්ට් කරන්න ස්පෙෂලි ඔයාලඟ තියෙන්න ඕන එකට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ POD එකක් කියන්නේ. Right? POD in the sense දැන් හැමෝම එකම වතුර බෝතල්. ඒතර වතුර බෝතලයක් කියන එක ඔයා ගන්නකොට ඕන එකක් කමන්නේ කියලා ගන්න නැතුව අර බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එකම ඕන කියලා හිතෙන්න ඔයාගේ මොකක් හරි ස්පෙෂල් ෆීචර් එකක් තියෙනවා. And as an example, when all launches their glass bottles, people can price the product වැඩි වුණාට people tend to buy that because they can reuse the glass bottle. Glass bottle එක ආයෙ use කරන්න පුළුවන් හින්දා ඒක ගන්න මිනිස්සු පෙළඹුණා. That's a POD. Understood the difference between POP and POD. Yes, any other questions you have? I hope it's clear for you. Any other questions? Yes, there's another question. How can we target the customer? Target කරන්නේ කොහොමද අපි customer කෙනෙක්ව කියලා අහලා තියෙනවා. So it's what we were discussing. Like first we need to segment our market. We need to identify whether what are the categories. We discussed about segmentation basis. Segmentation basis අපි කතා කරා. So මේ segmentation basis හරහා we can yes, using this consumer segmentation basis, we can categorize the whole market into segments. Once we categorize those segments, right, we can think මෙන්න මේ segment අපි තුන එක segment එකක් ඉන්නවා 18 to 24 age females living in Colombo. තව එකක් ඉන්නවා 25 to 50 female living in Kandy. Like that we have some segments. So then we are analyzing in which category, in which segment we have the perfect customers for our product. Our product එක හොඳටම විකිනෙන්නේ අපි මොන segment එකකට දැම්මොත්. That's how we are going to target the customers. Okay, let's move into the lesson again if you have no other questions, right? Okay, what does it mean by straddle positions? Straddle positions කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Yes. These straddle positions occur when a custom or when a brand successfully occupies two frames of reference. We discussed about the frames of references, multiple frames of references. So in this case, right, a company will be able to straddle two frames of references with one set of points of differences and points of fact. It means we are using the same PODs and POPs, right? But we are like successfully occupying two frames of references. එක category එකක් නෙමෙයි, category දෙකක්ම අපි එකම set එකකින් එකම PODs සහ POPs පාවිච්චි කරලා successfully occupy කරගෙන තියෙනවා. මේ වගේ වෙලාවට අපි කියනවා straddle positioning එකක් කියලා. Right? So this happens when a brand tries to belong in two categories at the same time using the same set of POPs and PODs. So that's the meaning behind this. So the brand will stand in the middle of two markets. Then frame of reference එකෙන් වෙන්නේ මේ market එකයි මේ market එකයි දෙකටම මැද්දෙන් මේක ළඟ ඉන්න. Straddle position. Right? එතකොට මෙතනදී ස්පෙෂල් කේස් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක තමයි මේ POPs සහ PODs. අපි හිතමු market A, market B. මෙන්න මේ markets දෙකේ තමයි මෙයා position වෙන්නේ එකම වෙලාවට. So the PODs in market A. Market A එකට හරියන ඔයාගේ points of differentiations market B එකට යනකොට points of parity බවට පත් වෙනවා. මොකද මේ market එකේ ඔයාගේ speciality එක මේ market එකේ special දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. ඒක common දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. So මේ market B එකේ POD එක market A එකට යනකොට ඒකම සිද්ධ වෙනවා. කියන්නේ මේ market එකට special දේ මේ market එකට යනකොට common දෙයක් බවට පත් වෙනවා. So in this example BMW, right? They are combining this luxury and performance in a single brand promise. Ultimate driving machine. That slogan nicely has captured this brand's dual features of luxury and performance, right? So, traditionally, luxury cars focus on what? Samanya luxury cars මොනවද focus කරන්නේ? Yes. What? Luxury cars focus on comfort. It focuses on elegance. And it focuses on, let's say, the status, right? So, performance cars මොනවද target කරන්නේ? Just the speed, power, driving excitement. So those are coming under performance. So BMW itself positions in a way that customers do not have to choose between these two. Performances තියෙනවා හැබැයි මේ පැත්තෙන් ගත්තාම luxury නැත්තම් luxury තියෙනවා performance. දැන් මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්නයකදී මෙන්න මේ BMW එක successfully position කරනවා both the performances and luxury will be given to the customers with the same product. Right? So brand logo, brand ke slogan එක කොහොමද තියෙන්නේ? Ultimate driving machine. Right? So it communicates the luxury to this interior, advanced technology and everything. And then when it comes to performance, it's showcasing or it's denoting the powerful engines, sharp handling like that. You can see here, right? The advertisement. So this straddle positioning. අපි මේ කතා කරපු straddle positioning. කියන්නේ දැන් මේ markets දෙක, performance market එකේ ඉන්නවා, luxury market එකේ ඉන්නවා. මේ දෙක මැදට තමයි මේ BMW එක set වෙන්නේ. Right? So මෙතනදී දැන් අපි කතා කරලා performance market එක, right? Performance market එකේදී තියෙන PODs අපි අර කලින් කියපු performance market එකේ තියෙන PODs luxury market එකට ගියාම POPs බවට පත් වෙනවා. එතකොට POPs වල තියෙන luxury market එකේ තියෙන PODs performance market එකට ආවම POPs බවට පත් වෙනවා. So that's how this standard positioning works. I hope it's clear for you all, right? The BMW is the classic example that we can use for this. Okay. Updating positioning over time. So here, as a general rule, positioning should be like unique, inconsistent. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් practice එකක් වශයෙන් මේ positioning එක වෙනස් කරන්නේ නැහැ කාලෙන් කාලට. Right? Only when there is like, inevitable situations, ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ තියෙන POPs, PODs දැන් වෙනස් වෙලා වගේ තත්ත්වයකදී, yes, we can update the positioning with time, but most of the times it's not frequently changing. Okay, that's about updating the positioning over time. Like, let's say some POPs are no longer valid. Some PODs have become POPs now. Like that kind of situation, we can just, of course, update the positioning, but usually we are not frequently changing this POPs, the positioning. Okay. So developing a good positioning. කොහොමද අපි good positioning එක? කොහොමද අපි හොඳ අලුත් positioning එක? හොඳ positioning එක හදාගන්නේ? There are some things that we can think of when we are discussing about this development of a good positioning, right? අපි ඒක කතා කරන්න කලින් බලමුකෝ මොකද්ද good positioning කියන්නේ කියලා. What does it mean by a good positioning? මොකද අපි good positioning එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ? Yes. Good positioning in the sense how a brand wants them to be felt by their customers. Customer ට අපිව දැනෙන්න ඕනේ කොහොමද මේ විදිහට අපිට අපිව position කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් that's a good positioning. It means ඇයි මම මේ brand එක තෝරගන්න ඕනේ? Why should I choose this brand කියන question එකට customer ගේ answer එකක් එනවා නම්, right? මෙන්න මේ හින්දා මම මේ brand එක තෝරගන්න ඕනේ අනිත් brands තෝරගන්න. That kind of answer will be coming to that question. That will be a good positioning. Okay. So the first one is a good positioning has a foot in the present and a foot in the future. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? The brand should be strong today. අද ඒක ගොඩක් strong වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම තමයි it should be ready for the future. It should be ready to fight in the future, tomorrow as well. Put in the present and put in the future. අද වගේම හෙට අනාගතයේදී positioning එක හරියටම position වෙලා තියෙන්න ඕන. The best example that I can give you is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, right? It's like at present also it's very famous as a cola, just classic cola, right? And for future, ඉස්සරහට එන්නේ මොනවාද? දැන් මේ ගොඩාක් කාලයකට කලින් now දැන් අද හිතලා ගොඩාක් කාලයකට කලින් Coca-Cola එකකින් කරපු දෙයක් තමයි zero sugar healthy options ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙනවා නේද? Coke zero something. They have years back. But today, that's valid for today very well because other health conscious customers ලා වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට යාළුවා මේ පැනදීම කියන එක රිජෙක්ට් කරන්න සහ ડોක්ටර්ස්ලාත් කියනවා ඒවා බොන්න එපා මෙහෙම කියලා. ඒකට ඒ වගේ දෙයක් ඒ කියන එක එදාම හිතපු නිසා තමයි මෙහෙම zero sugar healthy options Coca-Cola එකෙන් ප්‍රොමෝට් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? So that's how they had one foot in the present and one foot in the future. And I mean here they should be strong today as well. අනාගතය ගැන හිතලා අද ඒගොල්ලන් අවුල් වෙලත් බෑ. They should be strong today as well and also they should be preparing for the future trends as well. That's first one. Then the next one is a good positioning is careful to identify all relevant points of parity. ඒ කියන්නේ brand එක මුලින්ම basic customer expectations meet කරලා ඉන්න ඕනේ. The brand must first meet the basic customer expectations. Customer කෙනෙක්ගේ basic expectations එයා මුලින්ම fulfill කරලා ඉන්න ඕනේ. Because without the POPs, customers will not trust your brand in that category. Category membership එක ඔයාට හම්බෙන්නේ අර POPs ඔයා ගානට balance කරලා තිබ්බොත් විතරයි. Right? As an example, let's say KFC. So what are the basic POPs that they should complete? They need to have a clean restaurant. They need to have the taste, the good consistent taste of their food. And also the fast service because it's a fast food chain. Right? So if these are missing, people will not come. මේවා තමයි basically fast food chain එකකින් customers ලා expect කරන දේවල්. ඒතර මේ දේවල් KFC එකේ නැත්නම් customers ලා මෙතෙන්ට එන්නේ නැහැ. So first of all, for a good positioning, there should be all relevant POPs. Because POPs make the brand acceptable. POPs වලින් තමයි brand එක accept වෙන්නේ. Brand එක customers ලා okay වෙන්නේ because of this POPs. Right? The next one is a good positioning should reflect a consumer point of view in terms of the benefits that consumers derive from the brand. What does it mean? It means the reflect from the customer's POV, customer's point of view. The positioning should focus on what do customers get from this brand. Customerගේ පැත්තෙන් අපි හිතන්න ඕන. එයාට මෙතනින් මොනවද හම්බ වෙන්නේ කියන එක හිතන්න ඕන. Right? So let's say Nestle, they don't feel that they are not telling they are just making food products. එයාලා කියන්නේ එයාලා food හදනවා. ඒගොල්ලන් කෑම විසරනවා වගේ එකක් නෙමෙයි එයාලා කියන්නේ. What they say? They say we provide healthy, safe nutrition. That's their common idea. Healthy, safe දෙයක් ඒගොල්ලන් දෙනවා. Nutritional දෙයක් කියලා දෙනවා කියන එක තමයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ basic idea එක. Like focus is on customer benefit. Customer කෙනෙක් කවදාවත් කෑම කියන අදහස දුන්නා කියලා ලොකුවට attract වෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ඔයාට සෞඛ්‍ය ආරක්ෂිත දෙයක් අපෙන් ගන්න පුළුවන් වගේ idea එකක් දෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ that will be a plus point. Right? That's a thinking from the customer point of view. Okay, the final one. A good positioning contains point of difference and point of parity that appeal both to the head and the heart. Appeal to both head and the heart. What does it mean? There should be a logic and also there should be some emotions. එතන logic එකක් තියෙනවා වගේම emotions උත් අවශ්‍යයි. Head and the heart. Right? So a good positioning must connect these logical things, the pricing, quality, health, those are some logical aspects with the heart aspect, like heart-related emotions, happiness, trust, love, right? So both of these things should be interconnected for a good positioning to be stood out. Okay, so as an example, අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් දැන් let's say Sunquick. Sunquick වගේ ගත්තොත් දැන් ඉතලම් easily available. අවුරුදු කාලෙක Sunquick එකකින් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම like that's quick. Just you can ඉතලන්ට first කවුරු හරි ගෙදරට visit එකක් ආවොත් ඒකෙන් ටිකක් තමයි දී කරා දුන්නා. Just quick. අනිත් ඒවට වගේ බලපුවම cost එකක් like reasonable, not that much lower but reasonable, easily available. So those are some logical things, right? So what is the heart? That's always giving you that nostalgic feeling. ඒ කාලේ අවුරුදු සමරපු හැටි. ඒ කාලේ නෑදෑයෝ බලන්න ගිහිල්ලා අවුරුද්ද අපි සමරපු හැටි. අර කවුරු හරි අමුත් එක්කෙනකොට තමයි මේ කෑ ගහන්නේ කපුට. I like that. They have that nostalgic memories coming out. That's how they have connected head with the heart. That's something that you need to develop in a good positioning. Right? Okay. So that's about developing good positioning. And now we are moving into the very last part of the lesson, right? It's about brand mantra. What does it mean by mantra? Brand mantra. Brand mantra කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? ඔයගොල්ලන්ට නිකන් හිතන විදිහට. Yes. Brand mantra. The brand mantra is a short phrase, of course, right? That will capture the heart and soul of the brand and it will guide the internal decisions. That's the important part, right? So, brand mantra කියන්නේ brand slogan කියන්නේ එකක්ද දෙකක්ද? Is brand mantra means the brand slogan? Brand slogan එකද අපි මේ brand mantra කියලා කියන්නේ? No, that's the first thing that you need to identify. Brand mantra and brand slogan are two different things, right? So when it comes to a brand mantra, it's so into internal things. We are reflecting our things, right? But brand slogan is, of course, for the customers. That's the main thing that you need to identify. Okay, designing and implementing a brand mantra. Designing and implementing a brand mantra. How could we do that? කොහොමද අපි brand mantra එකක් හදන්නේ සහ ඒක implement කරන්නේ? Basically, a strong brand mantra must communicate clearly. ඒ වගේම තමයි it should simplify brand decisions and inspire the employees. With the brand mantra, then we can example එකක් මම ගන්නවා. See, Nike's brand mantra, authentic athletic performance. It's not their slogan. Their slogan is just do it, right? But this is their brand mantra, authentic athletic performance. It is exemplified by the athletics such as Roger, right? We can get this authentic athletic performance. So this is the Nike's brand mantra. So let's move into the designing part again. So brand mantra must economically communicate what the brand is and what is not. Brand mantra එකකදී මේ brand එක මොකක්ද සහ brand එක මොකක් නෙවෙයිද කියන එක හරියට clearly mention කරන්න අවශ්‍යයි. Right? It should communicate very clearly and it should simplify all the brand decisions and it should inspire employees as well when it comes to brand mantra. Okay, so the next one. In a final brand mantra, it should be communicable. It should be easily communicate. අපි brand mantra එකක් ගත්තාම මේක ඉක්මනට communicate කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. It should be simplified. ඒක අපිට define කරන්න ලේසි වෙන්න ඕන. ලොකු බරසාර එකක් අපි ගන්නෙ නැහැ සාමාන්‍ය brand mantraයක් විදිහට. Then inspire. It should be able to inspire. Basically, your internally and also externally as well. මේක inspiration එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ brand mantra එකක් කියනද. Right? Okay. So, अब බලමු මොකක්ද මේ brand mantra එකේ brand slogan එකේ different එක කියලා, right? Basically, so when it comes to this purpose of brand mantra, it should guide the brand decisions. Brand mantra කියන එක ගත්තාම that should guide the brand decisions. But when it comes to slogan, it's always promoting your brand. Slogan එකක් ගත්තාම මේක හැම වෙලාවෙම promote කරනවා. And also when it comes to a brand mantra, it's not that much public. දැන් අපි හිතලා හෙව්වේ නැත්නම් Nike brand mantra එක එහෙම ලොකුට හොයාගන්න නැහැ. But what about the slogan? Slogan එක අපි හැමතැනම දානවා. It's really public. Although the mantra is a bit hidden. Right? And also, let's say then අපි කිව්වොත් එහෙම McDonald's like I'm loving it. That's their slogan. We know that. But do we know the mantra? අපි හරියට හොයලා බලන්නේ නැත්නම් do we know the McDonald's brand mantra? No. That's how these two work. So that's about brand mantra. And with that, you can see this is Nike and this is Disney. Disney's brand mantra of fun family entertainment. Give marketers the guardrails to help avoid brand inconsistent actions. Because it's fun, family, and entertainment. That's their brand mantra. So we need to cater that. The employees should be well aware of the brand mantra in order to give the maximum satisfaction to their customers. So that's about it. And that's all about the lesson today. And we have done it a bit earlier. So let's have a quick recap first, and then I'll give you time for the question round, and then we can have some questions also. So let's come from the first session, first slide, again with a quick recap, right? So we discussed about brand positioning. අපි positioning ගැන කතා කරේ මුලින්ම. Positioning කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Positioning වලදී මොනවද වෙන්නේ? Right? මෙතනදී basically කතා කරා items තුනක් ගැන. Brand positioning ගැන කතා කරද්දී points තුනක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න ඕනේ කියලා අපි කතා කරා. The first one is how we are going to design the offer, right? How we are going to design the offer, and then how we are going to design the image. Image in the sense your brand logo, the tone of voice that you are using in advertisement and everything, the designing of the stores like that, designing the image. And then next one is target customers' mind. Then customer perception එකෙන් කොහොමද අපි මේක බලන්නේ කියන දේ. Then we continued it up to frame of reference, target market, POP and POD. I think we have clearly discussed about these things. And then we categorized this as 4 questions. I told you that who the target consumer is, who the main competitors are. These two are coming with the frame of reference. And the other two, how the brand is similar to these competitors, it's coming with POPs. And how the brand is different from them is coming from POPs. I discussed that as well. And then we did an activity. We had an example from Karin B on the Sparsilon. And I discussed about a service example as well and the water bottle example. We had a good discussion on this. And we discussed about the target market. We discussed that when it comes to the target market, we need to do a market segmentation first. And to do the market segmentation, we need this basis, geographic, psychographic, demographic, and behavioral. I told you that don't like you will be getting messed up with this psychographic and behavioral. So be cautious when you are like studying these two separately. Then we moved into segmentation criteria. Once we segment the whole market into parts, I told you how to be cautious in identifying the particular ideal segment for you. The segment must be identifiable, it should be large enough, it should be accessible easily, and also the customer should be responsive in the particular segment. Then we moved into nature of competition. In nature of competition, basically, the nature of competition particularly decided based on which category that you decided to frame your product, brand එක කොයි category එකකටද දාන්නේ ඒ category එක අනුව තමයි nature of competition decide වෙන්නේ කියන එක අපි කතා කරා. Then we discussed that direct competition is not only competition that you have as a brand. Of course, you need to think of the indirect competition as well. That is a big mistake that marketers are like we are doing, because direct competition එක නම් අපි අර කතා කරපු water bottle example එකේදී උනත් we have just few number of like brands in water bottles, but when it comes to the indirect competition, we have a plenty of things that we can replace the third the water bottle in order to quench the thirst. So indirect compression is important. And multiple frames of reference. We discussed that a product can be categorized more than in one category. Multiple frames of reference, and this is the example that we gave in POP and POD. එදිකේ වෙනස අපි කතා කරා. අපි කිව්වා unique selling proposition කියන්නේ sustainable competitive advantage කියන්නේ both are similar concepts for point of difference කියලා. Then we discussed about 3 types of POPs category. This is the basic entry ticket for you to go into that category. Then competitive POPs, it means these are the things that you need to fight the competition. The coordinational point of parity in the sense, these are going to balance your POD negative effects, right? And we discussed about this customer acceptance of your PODs, right? And their zone of tolerance. We discussed zone of tolerance, zone of acceptance, range of tolerance, range of acceptance. Both are the same, right? All are the same. And then we discussed about guidelines of positioning. And then these are the guidelines. And we discussed about how to convey the brand category membership to our customers. අපි මේ category එකේ ඉන්නවා කියලා අපි customers ලට කියන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක අපි කතා කරා. In these 3 ways we can use communicating the category benefits. We can use some famous brands, exemplars, and we can rely on product descriptors. These are the 3 main ways, right? And we discussed of choosing a POD. Desirability criteria, deliverable when known, differentiate when known. This is how we are going to choose our PODs and how to establish, right? In establishing what are the issues that we face, and these are the solutions for this negative correlated POPs and PODs. මෙතනදී අපි කතා කරා attribute separate කරන්න leverage equity of another entity. අපි වෙන entity එකකින් borrow කරගන්න strength එකකින් කොහොමද අපි equity එක establish කරගන්නේ, කොහොමද අපි customers ලත් එක්ක තියෙන relationship එක redefine කරලා එයාලා හිතන විදිහ වෙනස් කරන්නේ. So those are the ways that we can use to cope with this problem. ඊට පස්සේ අපි කතා කරා, these are the examples for that. Straddle position. ඒ කියන්නේ markets දෙකක් අතරේ අපි කොහොමද category දෙකක් අතර අපේ product එක place කරන්නේ. අපි ඒකට example එක විදිහට BMW ගත්තා. They have the performance and the luxury as their market. And then we discussed the validity. නැත්නම් කොහොමද update කරන්න පුළුවන් අපේ positioning එක, මොන වගේ තැන්වලදීද, මොන වගේ අවස්ථාවලදීද අපි frequently මේක කරන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක අපි කතා කරා, right? And then we discussed what are the points that we need in developing a good positioning. Good positioning එකට අපිට අවශ්‍ය කරන points මොනවද කියලා අපි කතා කරා. And then we discussed about brand marketing. So that's about positioning brand strategy, right? I hope it's clear to you all. I did it quite a bit fast, but I think it's clear. So I'll give you like 10 to 15 minutes to raise questions. Let's have a question-wise discussion in the unclear parts. So I'll give you some 5 minutes to get your questions sorted, and then let's have a discussion till 12. I'll stop the recording because the lesson is over.